All right, welcome back to Two Song Podcast. This is Chris.
And this is Cam.
And this is a show where we try and sort every song ever into one of two categories. Either a love song.
Or a fight song.
Yep, exactly right. And this is episode 109 of our show.
Yeah, it is. And the intro that, well, I guess lack of intro that you just heard is from someone I've never heard of before today, actually. The Hacky Turtles. And it's a song Fizz from their 2021 album Dichotomy.
Yeah.
Which came out in October of 2021.
Yeah. One of those names that honestly I wouldn't have picked myself, and I wouldn't have clicked on their music probably either. I that's something I need to work on, but if a name is too much for me, I'll look at it and be very turned off and go, I'm good. Yeah, I don't know. And it's also like there's names like that already. Like, I don't know, just like trampled by turtles, even though they sound nothing alike. But to me, this name and this whole style, this whole like song very much reminds me of Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
Yeah.
And I'm like, these names, you gotta just have it be regular names. Are all the regular names taken? I don't really think so. But
That can't be.
it can't be. But and again, I admit it's something I need to work on because it's like they can name whatever they want. But
Yeah, and we love Rainbow Kitten Surprise.
True. Yeah.
And I've been really into this song, and just hearing a couple other songs from the album, playing after this one and having it on shuffle, or the track that comes right after this one. I've been very impressed.
Yeah, I really like their sound. I would agree. But you're right, no intro. Just one of those kind of. Honestly, the song feels semi-long. It feels, when I saw that it was a little over 3 minutes, I was shocked because the way it just jumps right in, and there's so many different parts of it and movements. But it's one of those songs that's like, we don't have time for an intro. But I don't know why. I don't get that. I never will understand that.
Yeah. I don't know. If I was like writing a bunch of songs, I could kind of see just like skipping it once or twice. I don't know how many other albums I have, but
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
it's just another tool, really, just being like, hey, listen to what we have to say. We're saying it already.
Yeah, no, it definitely has an effect, and I think in this song, like all the songs that do it right, it has a real effect to like disorient you right away. If we're used to songs with an intro, for a song to not have an intro, we go, whoa, how dare you start the song that way? Yeah, I like the way you put it. It's just another tool. Cool.
Yeah, and it kind of fits in with the lyrics. He's like the first words are "I'm quick."
It does, yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Darn. Well, since the intro and the first verse are kind of one and the same, should we get into it?
Yeah, should we start over or just pick up after that first line?
Let's just pick up right there. Gosh. Dude, I love their sound. I love this style.
Yeah, and the lyrics are kind of out there, like unusual somehow. Boundin' for the antsy is like the second line.
Yeah.
Kind of where we just started. That's a fun line. So he's like, I'm quick, this I know. Something let it show, maybe. And then he's like, I'm kind of bordering on like antsy.
Yeah.
Which makes me think of Lil Dicky being like, I'm fidgety.
Yeah. I think, same. It's like nervous. Like I'm almost neurotic. I'm so whatever this is. Yeah.
And it's such a like concise and fun way to say it.
Yeah, it is.
And in the lyrics, it's written as a question. So he's like, bounding for the antsy?
Yeah. Like test and see if it's too much.
Yeah. Very cool.
It is cool. I also like the way there's so much confidence in this verse to like be honest and like kind of sing it and then speed up parts of it,
Yeah.
almost like rap it and then and just have it like melodic and then monotone, more like pay attention to this, and then in certain parts of the verse be like, I'm gonna do away with all the niceties, like the parts where it's more monotone is like, I just gotta get all this stuff out right here, right now, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, it really is. And the verse starts with almost exclusively the kick drum. There might be some guitar low in the mix. And then it's like building up the courage and like the speed, and it feels like it's starting to like get away from them.
Yeah.
Which I love. Their drummer is incredible from what I've heard, and
Yeah.
they really play with rhythm, and we're gonna see that shortly. But it's super interesting to me.
Yeah, me too. And I like later in the verse, there's like these little atmospheric, like guitar spikes. It's not quite a chord, it's not quite a riff, just a couple little notes, like a true lead guitar, or like a, kind of an indie rock lead guitar, minimalist, like little solos in there, which is so neat.
Yeah.
And honestly, kind of like falling out of style. I think another one of the bands they remind me of, in addition to Rainbow Kid Surprise, is Kings of Leon.
Mm-hmm.
Like early Kings of Leon, maybe like mid-career Kings of Leon. Not so much early, because early they seem to want to play like fast and hack everything all the time. But just like the way those notes are really bad, like on purpose, really gritty sounding.
Yeah.
And just like really high up there. And they'll distract you if you let them. Like that reminds me so much of Kings of Leon.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that because I was going to mention that as well. And it's crazy because this one song reminds me of multiple eras of Kings of Leon. Kings of Leon changed a lot in the 7-8 albums.
Mm-hmm.
And it's cool to see how their music evolved, and we've talked about how it slows down significantly.
Mm-hmm.
And this first verse and some of those spiky guitar parts really remind me of Aha, Heartbreak,
Mm-hmm.
Aha, Shake, Heartbreak. And then later parts of the song remind me of slower parts of their discography.
Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I would say the same.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah. But it's such a fun first verse, and like you said, the lyrics are out there. They're really stylized, because like they don't really describe one thing you can put your finger on and be like, oh, I get that reference. At least I don't think, not for me. And they kind of like jump all over the place. Like they describe, kind of like a book will do sometimes. Like it'll describe something without really putting it in focus. Like it'll artfully like paint a scene around it.
Yeah.
And I think this first verse kind of does that, because I'm like, it reminds me of The Office whenever the episode they get one of their many new bosses, and Ryan is like, all these people, they're sheep. Me, I'm on the moon. Because he talks about like he's a sheep, let it grow. What?
That line, those two things right beside each other, I'm like, what, they're fur?
Yeah, they're wool, yeah. Very odd. But cool, it sticks in my head. I think about it. I think about listening to a song like, what is that reference to? It's so good.
Yeah. That is something that like Kings of Leon kind of does too. Like sometimes I listen to them, I'm like, what are they talking about?
Yeah, I never understand his lyrics. They're so needlessly literary and flowery. Mm-hmm. And you're like, make them about something. But to him they are. He just doesn't want to describe them the way everybody else describes it, which is so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I'll say this, for all the fun of this first verse, the chorus is super fun too.
Yeah.
Totally different way. Yeah, let's hear it. Gosh, that's cool. I was wondering when listening to it, like, is the way that physical is used over and over again, is that where they got Fizz from, the title? Is it like they just shortened it and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, the other tracks I've seen on this album are like one word, maybe even one syllable. I think I'm about to check actually. So I think you're onto something.
Imagine if it was like the working title of the song. Like this song could have been called Physical, where they were all calling it Fizz for short, and they just like, dang, let's stick with that. I like that.
Yeah. And it fits.
Yeah, it does.
Very well. And all of the title tracks are one word except for one. Blue Velvet.
Okay.
But they're not all one syllable. So there's like sauteed.
Interesting.
Yeah, indeed.
But you were talking about that it's kick drum and it's like building.
Mm-hmm.
The chorus lets a full drum beat, like kick and snare, and like lots of flavor and lots of like expression on the drums to give it like a real chaotic feel. Like to go with the way that the chorus sings physical so much over again. Like I'm physical, it's medical and stuff. Like the drums try to, it seems to me, just as a fan and listener, to make the track feel like really tactile, you know, more than just something there keeping the beat.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that this chorus, more than other parts of the song, are what remind me of like early Kings of Leon.
Yeah.
Because of that big drum sound.
Yep. I definitely hear Taper Jean Girl,
Mm-hmm.
because that song is just so pulsing. But also, it seems to me that their singer's one of those singers that kind of has like two voices, kind of like a singing voice and then kind of like a belting voice, or like a singing voice and a more aggressive voice or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, which is kind of Kings of Leon, or kind of a Rainbow Kitten surprise thing.
Yeah.
Like the first verse and how it's sped up, that Rainbow Kitten does a lot of that, like borderline rapping over like a rock band.
Yeah, and you'll hear like a cadence. You'll be like, okay, and then the verse is kind of like lulling you into a part, and then the next 4 or 5 lines, or maybe 10 lines, will be twice as fast. And you're like, whoa, they just lost the whole feel of that verse, but it's for an effect to really get you to focus on that part.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
I wish I could do that.
Yeah.
It's very impressive.
Yeah, it is. Dang. What a fun chorus. Well, the song's moving quick. I mean, like I said earlier, it feels long to me, and I enjoy it. I don't mean that as an insult, but it's not that long. Like, we're already at the second verse, aren't we?
Yeah. Yeah, there's just so many moving parts. So let's hear verse 2.
Man,
It's a very different verse.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So he just kind of goes off in all these like ad libs, kind of just O's and spiky like shouting. And the guitar gets a little like wobbly, like some kind of whammy bar or pedal or something that's just like really bending some of those notes.
Yeah, it's super expressive. There's a part later where the guitar like is out of tune on purpose and like bends up to a pitch, so it was just so neat, and like shows a lot of control. But yeah, I noticed that same thing. Like, this verse has a lot more space in it. Like, there's not as many lyrics by design, and there's not as much for the listener to get. There's like not as much out there.
Yeah, and the beat isn't as full as it was in the chorus, so you almost kind of feel like something's missing. But the drummer's like, I'm still here, like, you hear what I'm doing on the hi-hat? Because he's throwing in some cool stuff.
Yeah. Lots of neat chops that I think people like that aren't really into drums would kind of take for granted.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be fun to see live, because then I think people could, you know, like put that visual stimuli with the audio and be like, oh wow, that's a neat part.
Yeah.
Especially if he's a really expressive player. Yeah, but you know, you mentioned the like ad libs. To me, that sounds a lot like Kings of Leon also.
Oh man, I was thinking more of Rainbow Kitten. Cause they kind of do just like, there's like, there's shouting and very like expressive and animated.
The cursing everyone whose life is a vacation, to me sounds just like Rainbow Kitten Surprise. They'll do that weird harmony that's not quite an octave, not quite like a parallel fifth. It's just like, how are those not wrong notes? Those should be wrong notes. But the O's and the A's to me sound like when the drummer Nathan from Kings of Leon sings back up. And it sounds like he's like far away from the mic and tons of reverb.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't usually get really aggressive. Kings of Leon, I mean.
Yeah.
Like, they don't like make it, like you said, like real in the mix like Rainbow Kitten Surprise does. The times that they do that.
Yeah, that's true.
Dang. Yeah. But a fun verse. I don't know. I like the first verse more, I think. Not that it matters, but it's just like so confident, draws you in, like hooks you. Like, you know, it catches you before the actual hook itself.
Yeah.
And you're just like, whoa, this song is not what I expected. Like, from the album art to the band name to the song title. And then for that first verse to be like that, it's like, man, wow.
Yeah. And then, you know, obviously he has all these lyrics and like the flow of a rapper apparently. And then he's just like, hey, I'm just going to say some O's and do some, you know, take some liberties in the
I was about to say that. That's funny.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I know. That's rare.
Yeah, no, and I think we just like to compare artists to other artists, especially someone new that we're like, who is this? And like, why have we probably didn't listen to them because their name's the Hacky Turtles.
Yeah.
But I don't think that takes away at all from them. Like, it's cool to even be compared to Kings of Leon and Rainbow Kittens Prize, who are very different bands. And this band just kind of fits in and is similar to both of those in a really cool way. Like, I think they should be proud.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think it's just human nature to be like, oh, what do you have? Electric guitars and drums? I've heard something similar before. Let my just like instinctual brain remember that. I mean, and yeah, we said this before, and you just hit on it. We don't mean it as an insult, but it's hard for me to try, but it's hard for me to turn off my memory when I listen to a song.
Yeah,
listen to it completely fresh is impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. Man, yeah. This song to me, like right here, is a good midpoint, like where those O's and A's start, because I don't know, like after this chorus is a totally different song. Like there's like some real big choices that usually a song gets like one, but this song has like both, has all of them thrown in there.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah, they're really kind of bold with that kind of stuff too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I appreciate. And I feel like the O's and the A's and the interesting emphasis in the middle of Temptation are kind of them just being like, we're having fun. Like, are y'all having fun?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too.
Cool. You want to keep going?
Yeah. It's the chorus again, yeah. Dang.
Mm-hmm.
That's so fun. The more I listen to it, the more I think I get it. Like, saying that this person's physical and medical, and then saying, I think I'm hearing this right, that it's more than a script tease. Because that would make it seem that would tie in nicely to be like a drug and like a prescription and like something that you can feel the effects of.
Could be. The lyrics on Spotify say striptease.
Darn.
But then it also, right after that line, what I hear is drop dead physical, my baby's medical.
Mm-hmm.
And it has physical twice. Said drop dead, physical, my baby's physical. So
yeah.
The lyrics are wrong.
Yes. There's a couple parts that it leaves out later.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that. And I think one of the other lyrics, I don't know if it's like generated from speech text or what the deal is, but I noticed a couple of the lyrics were not right. So I don't know for sure. But I like our theory. Cause it's like,
that sounds cool.
There's like a 3 reference thing, like if you're gonna list things to be persuasive, 3 is better than 2 or 1 for that matter. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and I feel like the way he says it like hits a consonant besides like strip. It's a harder sound, but I mean either one is kind of cool. I remember when I was little, I loved My Own Worst Enemy by Lit, which a lot of people on the internet say is Blink-182. Which is embarrassing for y'all, not for us to know better. But there's a part, repetitive part is sleeping with my clothes on. And I remember our dad was like, whoa, sleeping with my clothes off could have been a more interesting song. And I was like, I guess, yeah, that's never even thought of that. And to me, I think strip or script they're both good, they both work.
Yeah, cool. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he probably means like with the clothes from the day.
Yeah.
And then
like he passed out.
Yeah. Wow. Cool. I've been thinking about that for a while.
Oh man.
I kind of remember that too. Like I remember him saying that.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
Oh, that's so cool. But yeah, back to the song. I mean, just like a straight up fun chorus. Like those things that are not super common words, but like work really well in songs. Like think about how many songs talk about physical. And like think about how many times in your everyday life you say the word physical. Like to me, I always pick up on stuff like that. I try to, because it's like, how did you get that in a song? Well, we don't really even say that much as a culture, as a people.
Yeah, and certainly not to like describe, your baby or something. So an interesting take, and just kind of the added bonus of being able to emphasize the last syllable of physical and medical, and how cool they sound together.
Yeah, exactly. They rhyme together, and they like fit a theme, and they're just like fun to say, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, kind of stick in your head. Well, should we hear this bridge part? It's about to get super fun.
Yeah, definitely. The second chorus, it's not much different. It's just he's kind of belting more, and I think there's a lot more snare. Like it's just kind of, there's a little bit more full, and then things are about to change a lot. So let's hear that.
Nice, yeah. Man.
Yeah, what a cool turn.
Yeah, because it gets like, this is one of the first things I noticed listening to it the very first time. It gets like real progressive rock. Like, it just like, the mix dries up almost entirely, and it's just like real dramatic, deliberate guitar and like drum hits, and then the music feels like real halftime, and you're like, why? The pace was so satisfying and so good and driving, and then to be like, and guess what else? You know what I mean? Explosions in the sky kind of music.
Yeah.
Or what all the other bands that kind of have that jammy, progressive rock, lots of electric guitar. You're like, you had that in your back pocket the whole time?
Yeah. I know, and I love when a song can surprise me, because it's seems like it's less likely as I like am more familiar with more music and understanding music better. So just to find something that I'm like, wow, I was not ready for that. And it even throws me, like it does seem to be halftime, you know, if I try to keep the count. But because of I think the way that the guitar chords are dragging, feels even slower. And I'm like, is it halftime, or are they like,
Is it just slowing down?
Yeah. It's so, it's very impressive and very cool.
Yeah, it is.
And I would love to see them live, really kind of just for this moment.
Yeah, just to see how they do that, how they navigate that. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, and then later in the bridge there's like a falsetto too, you know? Which kind of the O's and the A's got pretty high, and like, just like taking liberties, like you said, or just noodling all over the melody. But then, the falsettos is like another thing. It's like, wow, that is awesome.
Yeah.
And kind of back to Rainbow Kitten Surprise too. Like, their singer has an incredible range, and, a lot like Hacky Turtle's just like, what are you? You're like a combination of a bunch of good singers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very, very, very impressive. But then that's the bridge is the part that reminds me of the later like stadium rock Kings of Leon, because there's so much space in the lyrics, in the phrasing of the lyrics, and just kind of like not a lot of instruments, but you're feeling the instruments super hard, because they've just chosen the right times to play.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. You definitely are. And another thing I noticed, like, you can listen to it on different like speakers or headphones and hear and feel the different things, but it's a real, I think, great choice to make sure the bass is like really percussive right there and sticks with all those hits. Otherwise, they would feel too like guitar rock, and the bass keeps it like fun and bouncy.
Yeah.
And contributes to you feeling it, like you said. Man, yeah. It's so cool. There's one thing coming up that's so wild to me, and it's like, some songs do this, but I haven't heard it in a while, and it's like a choice that not a lot of bands make, but it's like a false ending. Like, the song feels like it ends. It's like, and you're like, cool. And then they like surprise us, so, I don't want to like, give that away without like hearing it, but it's just so crazy to experience. I just want to point it out.
Yeah. I love it. Should we just play the song now?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, yeah.
Gosh.
I know this guitar has to have a whammy bar on it, or something of the sort, because the false ending that you were talking about is just like perfect, just like bend down into what could be a good into the song, and arguably more satisfying in than how they ended it, which was super abrupt.
Yeah, they do end it abrupt. Like the real ending is just like cut off. There's like a little bit of an echo, like a little bit of reverb. But yeah, I love that part. Just like the control, like putting that pitch right where you want it. Which again, I guess in post you could correct it and make it perfect.
Yeah.
But you still, I mean, I like to think, I like to imagine that it was played. If you do it live, you have to play it.
Yeah.
So why not play it? And it can be done. It's just cool because it takes a lot of practice, I think. Man, but it's neat. We were talking earlier about how they would do this live or how they perform this, and to me, that start back up to that last chorus, it's got to be 1-2. It's like hard to do, like hard to juggle and hard to like put it like right where it needs to be and make sure everybody comes back in, you know?
Yeah. I know. I really want to see it.
Yeah.
And it's cool. They were just like, yeah, we know y'all want another chorus. Like,
Yeah, I know.
and you're like, oh, I'm surprised again. But yeah, I did want another chorus.
Yeah. Yeah, because again, I don't totally get it, so it's just cool to be able to hear it. That's 3 times, right? You hear the chorus? Yeah. It's just cool to be like, cool, I want to get those words one more time. This sounds so great. And that way, because in a 3-minute song, it's a good rule to have the chorus 3 times, I would think.
Yeah. And it would have been kind of unusual to end it on the bridge.
Bingo, yeah, that too. That would have been weird. Yeah.
So they really tricked you though. Really tricked me.
Yeah, because it stretches out long, like just long enough to be like, oh, that's the end.
Yeah.
Dang, yeah. The fun song. I mean, now that we're breaking up into sections, it doesn't seem long. But to me, like the like progressive rock part and the false ending to me like stretch it out when you hear it in one continuous like thing as one piece.
Yeah. That like playing with the rhythm really seems to have an effect on like how long it feels.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Because even though it's the same chorus, they just kind of rock out to the end. You know, it feels like 3 distinct sections.
Yeah, it does.
At least.
Yeah. That's cool, man. What a good rule for a song. Let's break the song into 3 sections, make them all as great as they can be.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. They only have one other album before this one, at least on Spotify, from 2016.
Whoa.
A few years ago. Called Astro Blastro. It's pretty silly.
That's awesome. That's a good title.
Yeah.
Man. Well, do you feel like going first? Do you want me to go first?
I say you go first, actually.
Okay, we can do that. I think even though there's a lot of like stuff that brings up another person, you know, an object of the narrator's affection.
Right.
I think that the song is really fast, got like a full band feel, and like a real competent and like great rock band. I think the verses are like a bit aggressive, and like the singing, rapping thing we were talking about earlier. I think for all of that, even though it talks about in the chorus like the things that my baby is, and the way the chorus ends kind of like begging or like asking of something of someone, I think it's kind of like a fight song, kind of like celebrating something to be. It's like a party song being like, I just won the lottery, or I just like achieved my dream, you know? And this person is kind of that, so they're like saying all these like good things about them.
Yeah.
I guess I think they're good things, but then also it's a little bit like I said earlier, like a drug, and just feeling like the high of the other person, you know, especially in the chorus. So yeah, I think that since it's so fast at times, and then so rocked out at other times, and not ever really very sentimental or sweet, that it's a party song and therefore a fight song.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it is so fast. And then, you know, it doesn't exactly feel faster during the halftime bridge, because it's literally half, but I think even that section isn't, you know, like you said, sentimental or moving or sweet in any way. And kind of like throws you off so much of the like trajectory of the song and like what you thought was going to happen, that it like contributes to just like the chaos and the tension. And yeah, I think it'd be cool to find this drummer playing on a love song, because he seems very high energy. And you mentioned, like, I don't think you said animated, but something about like how he might play and how he might look live.
Yeah.
And energetic.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's energetic.
I am picturing a very like a drummer that like moves a lot and like sweats a lot. So I have to agree. This song is a fight song for me. It makes me feel like driving too fast on like a desert highway for some reason.
Cool.
Which is very specific. But also like dance around and like you know, tap along to the snare drum and all the interesting stuff that's happening in the percussion. So
yeah,
it really like moves me physically, not emotionally.
Nice. Yes, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good factor. Cool. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, yeah, I think you're right. I think we both are right that it's a fight song.
Cool. Yeah, aren't we always?
Yeah, that way.
We haven't had any objections yet, so
True.
I guess except for when we disagree with each other. Then we're both right still.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Well, thank y'all for listening. We appreciate it. Hopefully, you know the Hacky Turtles already. But if not, I'm glad we could show them to you.
Yeah, for real. He has a good pick, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah, man, appreciate you.
Thanks for sweating with me in here.
Of course.
It's hot in the south, y'all. Send help.
Yep.
But seriously, thank y'all so much.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.